Hello and welcome to the Collecting Heroes podcast. I'm your host JD, the collector of collectors, and this is the podcast where I interview pop culture collectors from around the world. And I tell you what, this season we are going to different parts of the world. Last episode, I was in Germany. I've been in America. I've been in Australia. And now I'm going to Holland with my next collector. His name is Lars van Klaveren. And he is a Super Mario Brothers collector. So, Lars, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me here on this show, and yeah, I'm happy to tell you all about my collection and about the Super Mario world. Yeah, what I created here in my living room, in my home.
Oh, well, I mean, I can see you've got quite the collection. I've watched some of your videos on YouTube. I've watched, been looking through your Instagram page as well. So I'm a little
Yeah,
bit familiar with your collection, and it's quite impressive. I'm really keen to talk to you, and also because it's just great timing right now with the Super Mario Brothers movie just coming out. I actually just went and saw that 2 nights ago myself. So we can talk about that. No spoilers. We won't spoil it for anyone, but we can talk about that in a little while. But the way I always start this podcast with people is to find out a little bit about you personally, your love for Super
yeah.
Mario Brothers. Where did that start?
My love for Super Mario. I think it started when I was young. I just got a Nintendo 64 from my parents. And that was my first time I saw Super Mario Bros. 64. Yeah, I was sold immediately. And from that on, I always collected the games. I was not really into Mario at the moment, but when I get older, I've started my own home or my own house. And when I got my own house, I said, okay, I want to collect some things. And then I also had other consoles or other video games. But at a certain moment, I got one figure of Super Mario, and then it was some kind of a virus because then you get one statue, then a second one, and a third one, and at a certain moment you're in your 20s and you get from your for your birthday, you don't get socks or anything. No, you get Super Mario toys. So everybody was saying, oh, but you became 25, or why do you need? Oh no, it's for me. So yeah, that's really cool. That at a certain moment you get from your birthday, you just get Super Mario stuff. No,
But how many
still
years?
until then.
Sorry, how many years since you bought that first item?
The first one, that is really 15 years. 15, maybe less, but I think 15 years ago. Yeah,
Wow.
and it was on a strange part also because I was the figure. I was to a theme park here in Holland. Together with my father, I was at the theme park, and we saw a little booth, and they sold a lot of things over there. And I don't know why, but they sold also Super Mario stuff there. And I saw it, and I said to my father, I need to have that. And I got it. And from that on, yeah, that was the start of my collection.
Oh, that's great. So your father bought that for you. They bought you a 64, bought you first figure. That's really cool. When you had your
Yeah,
64, you said you had a couple other consoles as well. What other consoles?
uh, I'm really an Xbox fan. So I always started with the first Xbox, but I have actually, and after that, I just started also with the GameCube and everything from Nintendo. But when I'm a little bit older, I got really into the Xbox and and all that, but never PlayStation actually.
Okay.
That's not my thing. And actually, and then also now, still now, the Xbox Series X I have, and the Nintendo Switch is standing next to it. So
Well, you have to have a Nintendo. I mean, like if you have a Super Mario collection such as yours, you can't not have a
yeah,
Switch, right? You can't not have the newest version of the
no,
Nintendo.
No, and I really needed the first one, so I have the first edition also from Nintendo Switch. And the strangest thing is, when Super Mario came out, I didn't have the Switch at the moment when Odyssey came out, but I already bought Odyssey, so I already had it for a couple of weeks. I had Super Mario Odyssey in my hands, but I hadn't got the Nintendo Switch at the moment because it was really terrible to get it. And so yeah, the game was first, and then the Nintendo Switch.
I've got a similar story, but with PlayStation, because the PlayStation, and this is going back a while now, but my PlayStation 3, I bought that purely so I could play the Batman Arkham games, because I
Yeah,
really loved the Batman Arkham games. The first time I ever played that was on an Xbox, but then I ended up getting a PlayStation and then just playing it on there, and then I like the only time I would really play Arkham or do anything like play the PlayStation was when I was playing the Batman game. I rarely played anything else. I do have a Switch that I
yeah,
recently bought last year, and that was something I was really excited to get and get the Lego games because I play a lot of the Lego games. But also one of the first games that I bought, as well as the Lego games, was Mario Kart, because I just love Mario Kart. You
yeah,
talk about 64. That was one of the
yeah.
early games that I
You know
played.
what the greatest thing is? If the greatest thing is if you, I think you have the same. If you met people and you tell them about your collection and you said, "Yeah, I'm collecting everything from Super Mario." Oh, you're a gamer. Yes, yeah, I'm a gamer, but first of all, collector and then a gamer. Oh yeah, I game also. I always play Mario Kart with my nephew or with my son. Or they say, "Oh, you're a gamer." I say, "Yes, yeah, I play Fortnite." I said, "Oh yeah, but yeah, I think if you play Fortnite, it's not if you play Fortnite you're a gamer. You know, it's. I think if you really played the old school 8-bit series or the Super Nintendo version, that you know the moment that you had to leave your console on, you cannot save your, but you need to go to dinner, you need to eat,
Mm-hmm.
but you're still in that level. You need to
Yeah.
finish that level because you cannot save your game. Those were the days that you really think, yeah, that was gaming because you need to finish that level. And now they say, yeah, I play Fortnite. I'm a gamer. Okay, yeah, thank you. you know,
Well, actually, I know exactly what you're talking about, because, like I just said, Mario Kart was one of the first that I played on the 64. But prior to that, when I was a young boy, quite a few years back now, back in the 80s, my first console was the original NES with Super Mario Brothers
yeah,
and Duck Hunt on the same cartridge that came together on the same
yeah,
cartridge. And I remember playing that, and yeah, exactly like you were saying, you had to get through the game, like, and if you wanted to finish a game, it was either die or finish the level, and
yeah.
and finish the game. So yeah, and then
Or
once
you let
finally,
the television has to get on. Leave the television on and leave the console on. Okay, I will go to eat and then fast eating and then oh, I have to go back. And
yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
that those were just yeah, great days, great days.
So with your Super Mario collection, how many items? So you
Yeah,
said 15 years now since you got that first piece.
yeah.
Do you know roughly how many items are in your collection now?
I think um, I think almost 800-900. I think something like that.
Wow.
From really small things to really big ones. Sometimes also a lot of double. I have, but yeah. But I'm really a strange collector because I always say I want to find the how do you say it? Um, I don't like it if I go to somebody on the internet and he has something for sale and he asks the biggest money for it, that he
You're trying to
asked
find a
three,
bargain.
400 years.
So you're trying to find a
Yeah,
bargain on everything.
I, I I really like it when I go to a thrift store or
Uh-huh.
to and to find somewhere on the left behind something, and I say, "Hey, this is really cool," and then the person said, "Oh, I don't know what it is." Oh yeah, I will take it, and then you know, I'm that kind of collector. Just I want to see the pearls. I want to find the gems
Yeah.
somewhere, and I'm not a spender. I really hated to spend a lot of money on my collection. Always think, okay, you ask much money for it. Maybe in a couple years I will get it somewhere. I will find it for somewhere else, and
Oh, that's
this
good.
I want to make it fun for me. So
That's an interesting way actually to think about it as well, because I think a lot of collectors, we get into that mode of FOMO, the fear of missing out. When the newest thing, shiniest thing comes out, we want to get it, or then we have
yeah,
something that we didn't get that came out a couple of years beforehand, and we're like, I really want that for my collection. And then, like you said, maybe they're charging silly prices for it. I mean, as someone who collects Funko Pops myself, I know, the cost of some of the Funko Pops that I've purchased. I'm always looking
yeah,
for a bargain or a deal where I can on those as well, or trying to buy like a bulk of Facebook Marketplace, places like that I can get things. So
yeah,
it makes sense, especially like, I mean, you say you don't spend a lot maybe per item, but when you have 8 to 9
no.
items, it still adds up over time. Like when
Of course, but sometimes you have to spend some money because also I have all the Lego pieces from the Super Mario collection, the adult versions,
yeah,
the mighty Bowser and
yeah,
the question block. I always know, okay, you have to buy that for a lot of money because that's Lego, and you're
yeah.
not getting it for something else. And yeah, sometimes you have to, but sometimes I really don't like the market of the collectors
Like the
because
aftermarket.
everybody everybody knows the price. And sometimes I also gave something to a collector because I said, "Oh, I have it here. You want it? I don't want to make rich of it or anything. I really like it if it goes to a collector who
Mhm.
keeps it neat and keeps it clean." And
Yeah.
I think we can be a little bit harsh. I think sometimes collectors to each other, and but yeah,
I
in
found
those couple years, I make it.
I found that a lot of people that I deal with in the collecting community, are very helpful, and I think it's good when you can connect with other
Yeah,
collectors as well. And yeah, like you said, if you can send it to a home where it's going to be taken care of, and it's with a collector who's going to love that item, then yeah, it
yeah,
means more sometimes to sell that at the right price, not the highest price, to that
yeah,
person. Or in some cases, you gift something. I have
yeah,
a collector that was on the show actually, who, funnily enough, also most of his collection he did it on a budget as well, and he was a Ghostbusters collector. And one of his Grail items
yeah,
that he wanted in his collection was a signed version of the Guinness World Record, because he's a Guinness World Record holder for Ghostbusters. But he wanted a signed version, signed by the prior Wizarding World Guinness World
yeah,
Victoria, who was also on my first season of the podcast. So I reached out to her and I organized for a signed book to be sent from the UK to him in the US, because this is an item he really wanted. And I was happy to do that because
yeah,
he took his time to be on the show, and trying to help out a fellow collector. And also, he's someone who didn't have a great amount of money, so for him, the postage to send something back and forth from the States to the UK, for him, it just
yeah.
seemed a bit daunting at the time. So I was happy to help him out there, and really happy that he got to add that item to his collection. So I completely get what you're saying with that. One of the things with your collection that we were talking about before I started recording, you've recently had it on display, or part of your collection on display. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. I made contact in November from last year to a local cinema, a local theater here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just asked what you're gonna do with the Super Mario movie in April. because I have a collection. So it was really a bold question from, okay, what are you doing? And they said the manager said, okay, if you like, you can come and we can talk about it and maybe we can work together. I said, okay. So next week, the week on that, I went there and he said, okay, so you have a collection? I said, yeah. Well, if you want, you can make a display and we make the Mario Museum. He said, so yeah, that's okay. So we made really an appointment, and I think now 2 weeks it's already there at the cinema. Everybody can see it. A lot of nice products I have there because I have the 1, 2, and third video game from the NES from Super Mario, uh, complete in box. So people can really see it there. And a lot of Japanese things because in 2019 I went to Japan, to Tokyo, and so I have some chopsticks, Super Mario chopsticks. So people were really excited to see that.
Nice.
Post stamps from Japan. So it's a really nice collection, and I was there this Sunday, and I was just because I went to the movie again because I have already seen it twice now. Um, and I was just standing there a little bit behind, and I was just looking for, and people are really enjoying it, and I really like it that the small children they said, "Oh look, Dad, Mario," and then Dad was like, "Oh, that's an NES. I also had that, or
Yeah.
a Game Boy," and so I really like it that people are still thinking back and they say, "Oh, I had that also in my youth." And but it's a really honor that my collection is there and that everybody can see it. And then the ball was rolling because the local newspaper came to me and they made a video about the collection at the cinema and also here at my collection room. And they made an article for in the newspaper. So it was a really, really cool thing to do. And it's still there. And until the movie goes out of the cinema, my collection is there. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I've never heard of a collector doing that. And the fact that you offered that to the cinema so that people could share
Yeah.
your passion and the items that you've collected. And like you said, there is a history to it. As I mentioned, I had in the 80s the original NES with that. We're looking at 2025 would be literally 40-year anniversary of that first Super Mario
Yeah.
Bros. Nintendo version coming out in Japan, and on the Famicom, I believe, was the first one that came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's so much history. It's literally now you could have all like you're almost going into close to a third generation now that could start actually enjoying the
Yeah.
different games and go back and play the older versions, because I know you can also I think you can download like the older versions and play them online as well. Like
Yeah. Yeah, you can play them on the Switch and anything. Everybody can play the old games.
yeah,
But it's really nice to see if you go into the movie theater and you're just sitting there and everybody's watching the Mario Brothers movie.
yeah,
What kind of joy the small children from 6, 7, 8 years old, and they say, "Oh, that's Mario. Oh, Peach, and oh, little Yoshi," and I think, yeah, it gave me a little bit of goosebumps because I think you see what kind of brand Super Mario is, and
hmm
that it's so powerful, so strong, and it's just a happy place. And I think everybody can relate to that. And all the father and mothers, everybody had a game console at when they was young, I think. So
yeah.
yeah, and the generation go up, and Mario is staying.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, you said you've now seen the movie a couple of times. Uh, I,
Yeah.
I guess I really don't have to ask if you like the movie, but give me your short. review without spoilers. Like, what did you think of the movie?
A short review. I can only do an applause.
Yeah.
Really, I just upload. Yeah, really, it was great, and the best part was it that the second time I've watched it, you can also see the little Easter eggs what
Uh-huh.
they put in the movie. At this, okay, no spoilers, but at a certain moment they go fixing a pipe and they go downstairs all the way in the basement with all the pipes,
Uh-huh.
and there's a little sign, and my wife said it to me, and I think it was just an Easter egg, and a little sign was there, and it was level 1-2. So that's
Ah,
really cool.
I don't
That's really cool
remember
that
that.
they thought. Yeah, it was really cool. They walk stairs downstairs, and there's a level 1-2, and you hear really the sound of level 1-2 of the NES, and
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I think
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is so cool. The only thing is for me, the movie could, for me was better if it was a little bit longer, because
Mhm.
sometimes I missed some things. I think, okay, this scene was a little bit maybe okay, because they made the movie really fast. I think
Mhm.
it was a
Yeah, it
fast movie.
was very fast paced. Yeah.
Um, it was fast paced, but I think for the children it was okay. It was really
Yeah.
okay and really the best. I think they made a lot of fans really happy, and
Definitely. Definitely.
especially me. And yeah, yeah. What do you think?
Well, I mean, like I said, I saw it a couple of nights ago, and there was a couple of out of the theater reactions I'd watched online, and I had to agree with them that you don't go to this movie for substance in terms of really the storyline. There's no real,
No.
like there's a sort of a flimsy storyline throughout there. It does have a storyline, but it's a bit of a flimsy one. It's really just what's the next thing that they can move on to that gives you nostalgia from the game. So when they're going to
Yeah.
different lands and different areas and meeting different characters, and all of it is just the next step to here we're going to smack you in the face with this bit of nostalgia and this game that you loved and this character that you loved. And don't get me wrong, I loved that. Like, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I'll definitely watch it
Yeah.
again. I probably won't go back to the cinema to watch it again. I'll probably just wait until it's on streaming now. But I still enjoyed it, and like I'm glad I went and watched it in the cinema as well and had that experience, because there were definitely things that I was like, wow, like that's really cool seeing that. In
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that they actually go and make a second one as well. So it looks as though they've kind of left the door open, and
Yeah.
for the ongoing,
There's an
before you stay till the end of the credits, there is a bit at the end of the
yeah,
credits.
yeah, yeah. There's a post credit scene,
Yeah.
and
So
after it, yeah, of course they have to make a second one, and I think
yeah.
they're already thinking about it. But I think for the older people who's gonna watch it, it's really about the Easter eggs,
Mhm.
about the what do you hear, what do you see.
Mhm.
Um, at a certain moment, he was also Mario was sitting on the ground, and he was sitting next to arcade machine in the pizzeria where he was,
Yeah.
and on the arcade machine was standing Jumpman.
Uh-huh.
And Jumpman was the first time. Actually, they want to call Mario Jumpman. That was the first name for Mario
Oh, wow.
before he went Mario.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool that it was first Jumpman, and they said, okay, now we put it in a movie, and
Well, that's
next to
cool.
it was Mario sitting there. And those are the kind of things I really love to see, and the really Easter egg. So when the streaming, when he's out is on the streaming service or on DVD, I don't know how those kind of things. Um, are really going to explore everything. What can I
Yeah.
see? What can I
Yeah, I think
about?
I'll be doing the same thing when it comes out
Yeah,
on streaming for sure. And I guess that's another thing that it's funny you mentioned you went to Japan in 2019, because I was actually in Tokyo in
yeah.
2019 myself. I went there, and I'm actually
Ah, me too.
I'm due to go back at the end of this year. And I'm
Yeah.
super excited. One of the things I'm most excited for going back this time is to go to Universal again, because that was one of the first stops we made during my last trip.
Yeah.
This time we're going to do it as one of the last sort of stops towards the end of our trip. But we've planned this time. We only had one day at Universal in 2019. This time we're doing 2 days, and I said to my partner, we have to do 2 days because I have to go to Super Mario World and I have to spend a lot of time. I don't want to be rushing through it for a couple of hours. I want to be able to spend a better part of a day, at least half a day or more, in that land and really exploring it, because I'm really excited to see that. And when I heard that was opening in Japan, I was like, "Yep, I'm in. Get me over there as soon as I can to check it out."
It looks so great. It looks so great, and I was really excited. And I already said to my wife, "Okay, I really want to go back, or it will be in Tokyo, or we go to the States and to see it over there." I've been there in 2019 in Tokyo, but I went also to Kyoto, and I also went to the head office of Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
And unfortunately, I couldn't get in because it's really strict to go there. But I was next to the building with the sign on it, Nintendo, and so that was a really.
You should have gone up and said, "Do you know who I am? I'm like one of the biggest."
No, they're really strict. And I had also the copy of Super Mario Brothers 3 from the NES. I had it with me because I said, okay, I will take it. So I took it all the way from Holland to Japan. I had it in my suitcase for almost a week or two, and I went to the head office and. No, but I was not allowed to go in, and because I said, okay, I want that copy maybe signed by Miyamoto or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
but no, it was not allowed. Yeah, maybe one day. I hope one day I will meet him, Miyamoto. Also, Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario. And those are really the two people I really want to meet one day.
I think for Miyamoto, it would be very hard for him to have to. If everyone turned up wanting to get something signed, he'd probably never get any work done.
Yeah,
he'd probably have a line. They could literally just have a line down the street of people that would be there on a daily basis.
Yeah, but it's really strange there at the head office, because there's, if you didn't know it, you just passed it. The head of it, because they don't have a really big sign of Nintendo head office or anything.
Oh, wow.
It's just a small white building. It's square white building with really a small logo from Nintendo. You have to search it really on top of the building. And so if you didn't know it, you just walk past it, because they really don't want that people like me, collectors, come there and make some kind of holy moly head office of Nintendo, you know?
Have you
they really don't want that.
There's I can't remember the name of him now. I mean, the first season of Collecting Heroes, I had a Nintendo collector from Canada. And I believe I spoke about this video with him. I may have actually linked it in the description there. But there's a video about the guy who helped to expand Nintendo out of Japan, and he set up. I want to say it was in Sweden somewhere, where they have the head office for all the Europe and everything. I think I don't quote me on it. I think it's Sweden, but the gentleman who did that set up the office, and if you actually drive past the office, there's a massive green pipe. So they've got a massive green pipe, like almost like a flagpole, but it's a massive green pipe with Mario jumping out the top of it. So a little less or more conspicuous, if you want to say, than the one obviously in Japan. But they also have, I believe, if you go in there, I think they have their own little museum within there as well. So
Yeah,
if you get a chance, probably a lot easier for you to maybe travel to. But I would, find out the location for the European head office because I believe they do actually do tours and things in there. Check it out. I could be wrong on some of that, but I want to say that's what I saw as part of the video. But it's basically the history of the guy who actually helped them to expand out of Japan. And he essentially owned a little radio store, like a little electronics store. And he went over and just
yeah,
got the license off them to distribute solely
that's really cool.
to the
Yeah,
Sweden and the different Nordic regions. And then eventually expanded that out and it became huge.
yeah,
Going back to your collection, so obviously you've got like you said, quite a number of pieces. Some of them
yeah.
currently located at the cinema. How do you go about storing a lot of that? Where do you find the space, and how does your wife feel about the collection?
um, at this moment, I have it at the whole attic. The whole attic is, I call it the Mario room. The Mario room. So nice to talk in English if it's not your native language, but it's okay. But yeah, everything. I just have made some closets over cabins here, and sometimes things are just still in boxes, or I don't have the space for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it when it's a little bit messy. So the Mario products, I really like the figurines,
Mm-hmm.
and if you sort that, they can all stuck together, and they can be all on one shelf.
Yeah.
But most of the time, everything is displayed. Yeah, I hope always is displayed, but yeah, and actually the room is getting smaller and smaller. But my wife doesn't want to move out. We live in a nice place, so it's okay. It's
There's
okay.
one thing that people always hear me say on this: space is the enemy of every collector. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at least your wife allows
Killing
you
your
to.
darlings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really killing your darlings sometimes, and but yeah. And what my wife think about it? Actually, she's really helpful. Also, if we going to a market or something outside, and they're selling some stuff, there she's always looking for me, and she said, "Oh, there's something for Mario, or there's something for Mario." In 2 weeks, I have my birthday, so she knows if she wants to buy something from me, then she have to buy something from Mario. So I'm really easy, I think. But sometimes it was also that she bought something for me, and at that moment I also bought it already. So I came home. Oh, look what I bought! And she said, "Oh, I bought it for your birthday." So in these 2 weeks until my birthday, I cannot buy anything actually because otherwise,
Yeah,
she already bought it. So I have to be
that's a good
careful.
rule. That's a good rule.
Um, yeah, it's a good word. And but actually, she's really helpful, and she knows that it's my thing, and it's my thing to do. And don't make I'm not want to make it a little bit heavy, but in 2001, my health was not so really good, and so I was at home for nearly a year from work,
Oh,
and and I haven't done anything really like this with my collection, and I was recovery from my health for my health, and my wife said to me, "Okay, now you're at home, but do something with your Mario collection upstairs and make it your own." And when I did that, it was some kind of therapy, making the boxes really nice, putting all the figurines really cool,
mhm.
and that really helped me to make my recovery also a little bit easier. And then she said, okay, start, maybe you can start something on social media that with pictures or videos. And then I started really with my Instagram page, and so she really pushed me to make something of it, and I'm really proud of her and really happy with her that she did that.
And
And
that was 2021, was
yeah,
it?
2021. Yeah,
Do you have a clean bill of health, if you don't mind me asking now?
yeah. Now everything is fine now. It was really I've came from a long way, but everything is fine now. And but it was really some kind of, I didn't know that a collection or making a collection can be, or some kind of therapy.
Yeah,
You can. I was really making me. It was making me happy every time I came here.
yeah.
After a doctor appointment, I came here, and maybe um, what the doctor said was not so okay, and then you came home, and then said, "Okay, I'll go upstairs to my to the collection room," and it made me happy and made me also like, okay, I can go forward again,
Yeah.
and
Help you to relax, help you to.
so yeah, yeah, it's relaxing, and a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, you're collecting and you do," but for some people, actually, for me, it was really my therapy and was my getting well and getting better, and my collection helped me with that. Yeah,
Lars, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And you know what? I think that's a perfect way for us to wrap up. This collecting is something we do out of passion, because we
yeah,
have a love for a certain
yeah,
character, a certain franchise, a certain whatever it be. We've got a passion for, and we collect those things. And the space that we collect in should be a place of joy. It should be somewhere you can retire to at the end of the day or during the day and just really, just sit back and look at it and enjoy it. And it should be that, dare I say, this is actually in a recent movie, priceless, just a priceless experience. Just sitting there with
yeah,
a collection, looking at things, arranging them, even just dusting them. Some days can be therapeutic in itself. Taking the time to do that as
yeah.
well, like the reward of seeing a nice clean shelf after you've cleaned it. That could be its own reward. But thank you so much for sharing all about your collection with me and talking Super Mario with me. I've really enjoyed it. Where's the cinema? If anyone listens to this that is by chance in Holland and they want to go and check out the collection at the cinema, where's the cinema?
It's in the movie theater called Cine City, and Cine City, it's in Vlissingen in Zeeland, and yeah, there is. So if you past it, for all the Dutch people who are listening to it, or we have also a lot of tourists
Yeah.
coming to the place. So Cine City in Vlissingen.
Excellent. And yeah, I also, before I let you go, the last thing I always get people to do is to plug your socials. Where can they find your collection if they're not in Holland?
No, you can follow me on Instagram at Mario Collecting World. There you can see a lot of new stuff, old stuff, but and I hope I can see my YouTube video. You can see my YouTube videos. I will make new ones, in a couple weeks, and I'm really excited. So if you really want to see more of my Mario collecting, go to at Mario Collecting World at Instagram, and then you can see everything.
Perfect. Lars, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and
You too.
yeah, this has been a wonderful experience. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me here. And maybe next time, if the Super Mario movie 2 is coming out, then we can talk again.
If you liked the episode, please consider following or subscribing wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also join me on Instagram at Collecting Heroes, where you can see photos of the collections of the people that I'm talking to, as well as some of my own.